Hello friends, and welcome to Shibashi. I've learned this form through several different teachers, and everyone teaches things a little bit differently, of course, imparting their own way. So I've taken all the pieces of my training that I like and feel expresses each form the most or the best, and I've put this little set together for you. Always make sure you do a nice warm-up for your joints. Start to get your energy moving through your body and come back into a state of wuji or emptiness before you start your 18 forms. Shibashi literally means 18 in Mandarin, and there's 18 forms to this set. Feet, knees, hips are in alignment. Knees are soft. Tailbone, vuelo, just as though it's feeling gravity's gentle pull towards the earth. You want to have some space under your arms. Fingers are elongated and palms are open without being stretched. This is just a natural expansion. Chin tucked in and head aligned with the heavens. You're now perfectly balanced between the energies of heaven and earth. We're going to draw upon these primordial essences for our practice. You may wish to start with a deep breath in and release, just bringing yourself back to sung or softening. Sung is a great practice for any time, releasing tension and just allowing the body to open. And we'll start with the first form, which is pulsing. We soften the knees, let the hands raise up. They're not coming past the level of the shoulder, and then float back down. You'll notice that my wrists are soft and my hands are in a yin position as I raise up, and yang as they return. We do 6 repetitions of each form. This is a really nice practice for calming the liver chi and the nervous system, and just bringing you back into a state of awareness and presence for our practice today. And I will warn you in advance, I'm hopeless at keeping count. We'll just do our best. 6 repetitions of each, softening and releasing. The next form is opening the chest. We start the same way, and then the palms face in. We expand through the chest, draw the hands back in, and release down. Breathing in, try to keep all of your forms as steady as you can so that you're not racing through any parts of them. We want to keep the pace nice and even. Generally with Qigong, when we raise the hands up, so as we expand through the heart and lungs, we breathe in, and then as we draw the hands in, we breathe out. With this form, you're expanding your heart, your lungs, helping to soften tension from the shoulders as we open the chest. One more round. Feeling your whole being expand. Let your hands come down by your sides. And then we'll move into parting clouds where the hands cross at the lower dantian. My forearms are not touching. And you're breathing in and raising up. There's a soft pulse up the knees, and you can look down. Release through the neck as you breathe in and raise your hands up. This is really nice for the shoulders. And as the hands cross, we're drawing up fresh, life-giving chi into the pillar of light, your temple door. Just infusing your whole body with, well, I have this amazing energy of the ocean. Just so supportive of life, so nourishing. And then just feel this chi move up and clear your mind. It's a great practice for releasing any worries. Shoulders are typically where we house our burdens. So we can release through the shoulders. One more round coming up. And then just softening and letting the arms float down. Next form is rainbow dance. We're going to be shifting our weight, this slide and glide between the legs. I'm pushing off with the base of either foot. And then you'll come across. You're going to raise your arms up, one overhead and the other is out. This knee is bent and I'm leaning into that leg. Then we're going to shift across and swap hands. You'll notice that my hand that's reaching out is below my shoulder. This prevents tension from moving into the shoulders, and my wrists are nice and soft, not holding any stress within the body. And the idea with this form is that you're just moving a rainbow, this column of multicolored light through your hand. And then we'll come back up to center and just release and allow your hands to float down. When they come to the level of the waist, turn them over and draw them in. I've got my elbows quite close to my side, and both palms are facing up. We reach back with one arm, the gaze follows. We bend at the elbow. This hand brushes past the ear, comes down across the chest and pushes along the opposite forearm without touching. And we repeat on the other side. You'll notice I'm turning as minimally from the waist and the hips. Sorry, more so from the waist than the hips. This is a great form for the gallbladder and the liver chi. Takes a little bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, you'll also feel how great it is for releasing tension in the shoulders. The gallbladder and the liver tend to be places where we hold anger and frustration. So hopefully if you can release a few of the burdens from your being, you'll feel more relaxed and at peace. Just draw your hands in, making light fists. Turn them over and we'll come to a practice called rowing the boat across the lake. in the moonlight. You're using your legs, tucking in the tailbone and allowing yourself to draw down. The arms come back, up and over, and release down in front of you. Typically, we're breathing in as the hands come up and breathing out as they come down. Remembering to keep everything soft. We're not holding tension. I'm not squeezing my fists together. This is a really nice practice for your kidneys, the batteries of your body, the home of your essence. Last round. Let your hands come down, open, and come back to Wuji, this basic stance of emptiness. Our next form is called lifting bowl. You're going to slide one hand behind your back as the other reaches out in front. You'll notice my hand is below my shoulder. And then the hand turns to face in. It comes across the chest and down. And then we reach over with the other hand, coming up, drawing into the chest. This is a great practice for lifting spirits. Really helps with the kidney chi. If you're ever feeling a bit low or down, it's a really beautiful practice for helping to rekindle your inner spark. This is actually one of my favorite forms. As you come up onto the ball of your foot, you're pressing into the kidney 1 point, the bubbling springs. Helps to draw the mind down into the body so that we remember that there's only here and now. Everything else is a memory or a dream. One last round. Release your hands and let them float down. Our next form is called gazing at the moon. Draw your hands in front of you. They're down in front of my lower dantian at the level of my hips. The fingers are activated and the hands are in this position of holding a picture. Try to keep your lower half anchored as we reach up as though we're looking to frame the moon. Allow your hands to draw down, holding this shape, and we'll come up and gaze at the moon on this side. I love this practice. This is, for me, the epitome of yin and yang. The moon has no light of her own. When we witness and experience the beautiful full moon in the sky, that's the sun shining down on us at night. There will always be times when you'll need someone else's light to light your path. And then there will be other times where you'll be the sun and you'll illuminate life for someone else. Life is always about yin and yang, giving and taking, that beautiful, harmonious balance. Draw the hands back to center. Release. This is push palms. This is a nice, easy way to do this form. We draw the hands in front of the body at the lower dantian, and it's as though you're holding a small ball about the size of a grapefruit. One hand will stay and the other hand will push out. You'll notice I'm keeping my hips fairly square at center. Then we roll the ball and push out on the other side. Come back to center. Turn over and push. This is a small gesture. Really good for the spleen, the stomach, and digestion. This is a really good form for coming back to center if you feel like your world's been rocked. It's not just food that we're digesting in our lives, it's everything that happens. All the experiences, situations, and circumstances, all the emotions that we're processing. Think about how much there is to take in every day. There's so much. Draw your hands back to center, one atop the other. Whatever hand where you have your hand on top, we're going to breathe out and just turn in that direction holding the ball, and then you're going to drop the bottom hand down beside your hip and the top hand comes at around the level of the heart, and we're just turning at the waist. And then we swap hands. Bottom hand becomes the top and the top becomes the bottom. And all that we're doing here in this form called cloud hands, this is a really nice way to circulate the qi in the body. And the hand that's facing down is gathering the yin energy of the earth. And as I swap, I'm feeding this into my heart center. This nourishment, grounding, connecting, everything that we need to sustain us comes from our mother, the planet. Just feel that beautiful energy fueling up your entire being. When you come back to center, just draw the top hand back down. We're going to change our foot position now. So what you'll do is I'm going to mirror you here. You're going to lean your weight into your right leg and step your left foot forward. Where my toes were, I will place my heel. This gives a good width. You also want to keep the space between your legs as we do for Mabu. Back foot pivots out at about 45 degrees. You should be able to back weight and forward weight easily. Notice that my back knee is bending and then the front, and you want to be able to look over. We don't want to load up the knees. Touch the sea and kiss the sky. Hands come down and we raise up. Soften and bring your weight into your front leg and reach up. Allow your back to release as you lean over and feel the expansion of your whole upper body as we reach up to the sky. Keep your tongue atop the roof of your mouth, just behind your teeth. This helps to connect the yin-yang axis in the body, helping to bring harmony into your being. Last round. Draw your hands down to the height of the shoulder. We lift up the back heel and draw the hands in towards the chest. The hands do not touch. And then we come back and lift up the front toes. Flying pigeon. You can alternate from side to side if you like. I'm doing these three in our split stance, all together on one side. But there are ways that you can teach where you'll alternate between each form. Feel the expansion through your whole upper body. Just inviting this beautiful, fresh energy into your being, filling you up with inspiration. Lungs are the commander of your energy. We want the chi to flow rather than stagnate. Allow your hands to float down. Draw them in front of your lower abdomen and we'll move into pushing waves. Wrists are soft as we come up and we push out. And you'll notice I'm not really leaning forward that much. I'm using my hands to push out. Just bending, straightening the legs, pushing down as though you're rolling a wave along the face of the ocean. This is a really beautiful form for insomnia and the urinary bladder channels, connected to the element of water in winter, and anxiety and fear when they're out of balance, courage, tenacity, and persistence when they're in balance. Next time your hands come in, see if you can draw your foot back, straighten up so we're back into Wuji. Then we'll lean into the left leg and step the right leg forward. Keep the distance between your legs and pivot your back foot out to 45 degrees. And once again, just make sure you can back weight and forward weight comfortably. And then we'll start with our touch the sea, the cool yin of the ocean, the deep dark mystery, the unconscious that lives within each one of us. We dip our hands into this willing to explore. And then we raise this up to the light of the sun, the consciousness, the brightness, the warmth. Tongue atop the roof of the mouth. Always taking your time and going at your own pace. Everyone has their own inner rhythm. The only suggestion I would make is to go nice and slow. I'm going to do one more round. Touch the sea, the cool yin, up to the bright, warm yang of the sky. Float your arms, lift the back heel, and we'll come into our flying pigeon. Don't forget to raise your toes, so we're alternating heel and toes. Breathing in, expanding. When we take in fresh energy, we're expanding our consciousness, expanding our capacity to create the life that we really want to live and move beyond the self-imposed limitations that we all have. Last round, be the dreamer of the dream, not the dream itself. Float down, hands in front, and we'll gently transition into pushing waves. The more that you practice these forms and Qigong as a whole, the more smoothness you'll find in your entire life. For myself, so many hard edges have been polished away. So many frustrations are just a memory. You'll really learn to hone in on what's important for you and make that your priority rather than concerning yourself with peripheral issues that you really can't do anything about. It's a great practice of letting go and waking. On this next round that we come in, coordinate with pulling your right foot back, coming back into Wuji and floating your hands down. I'm going to see how well I can do this next form on the sand. This is our flying wild goose. So just start by practicing this flying motion. It's as though your whole upper body is expanding, the knees soften as you come down, and it's as though you're being pulled by the outer edges of the arms. And then as you expand, we're going to come up overhead onto the toes. And as you float back down, we release. I'm sure you can imagine this is good for balance. Expanding the energy and the qi coming into your body. Said that this form is great for mitigating headaches if you catch them before they happen. Very good for tonifying the organs as you raise your hands up and they get a fresh flood of qi and blood. One more round. Good for releasing the shoulders and the upper back. When your arms float down, raise your hands up and we're making light fists in at the side of the body. This is called warrior punch or punching with an angry gaze. We breathe in, punch out, breathe in, come back. You'll notice I'm making a on the out breath. Keep going, use the breathing. Warrior punches, they help with the Wei Qi, W-E-I, also known as guardian Qi. Lives just below the subcutaneous level of the skin and is connected with your immune system. This is a great way to release stress from the liver. The liver is connected with the eyes, so if you have a nice clear liver, you get bright, shiny eyes. And our liver is also connected with our inner vision. dreaming, knowing. Release and just allow your hands to float down. Everything is soft. Make sure, always take the time to make sure you're back in Wuji. And we're going to take the hands out in front just as we did for gazing at the moon. We're going to follow the same pattern of raising up overhead, only this time we're going to breathe in, look up, and we're circling all around. So you're drawing a large circle in front of your whole body. Try to keep your hips square in front. We're moving through the waist and the center of the body to really loosen up, help create blood flow and qi flow through the whole body. Washing the organs. This is really good for the lower back, kidneys. Take your time. Try not to rush through any of the forms. I often say that the ones that you feel like you like the least are probably the ones that you need to do the most. When you've done 3 rounds either side, just come back to center and release. For your next form, this is called bouncing ball, good for balance. We're doing opposite leg and hand. You don't have to raise your foot up very high. You can raise it just a little bit, but what I would encourage you to do is not allow your knee to slide in or be sloppy with your structure. When your tailbone is anchored, this really helps to give good balance. So I'm going to mirror you here. We can do right hand and left leg and soften and come up. This is our form that we sometimes call moonwalking because it has that really slow, kind of no gravity feeling to it. Great for balancing the hemispheres of the brain, which is really good for mental stability, focus, balance. If you focus at something in the distance that's not moving, this will really help you with balance. We're going to do one more either side. Both feet back down. We have one form left to go in our 18 forms of Shibashi. This is the closing practice for peaceful Qi. Bend at the knees, reach out in front, grab some of the amazing energy in front of you and just allow this to wash down your center. This is really good for your kidneys. Anytime you're really using your legs, the foundation of your body, think of this as like having a really solid structure for your home to sit upon. The home in your heart, this inner dwelling in which you live your whole life. And just take this beautiful energy and see it washing down through your temple door, cleansing, clearing, and purifying. And remember that whatever you envision is what you're creating for yourself. So see yourself as healed and whole, at peace, with mind, body, spirit, in alignment. Last round. To finish our practice, turn the palms out. Raise your hands up overhead and draw all of your energy back to you. Mind, body, spirit, calling your spirit back from all the places that may have wandered off to over the last days, weeks, months, years, or even lifetimes, so that you are integrated, whole, and complete. When you have all of your energy working together, this is what we call empowerment. Hands on the lower dantian to seal it in. I like to finish by gathering from the east and the west, consciously taking in whatever you need. Don't be afraid to take. Many of us are great at giving, but when it comes to receiving, we tend to shy away. One last gather overhead, gathering up all this beautiful, free, universal love that's around us all the time, and draw it into your mind, so that all your thoughts towards yourself and others may be loving and kind. Draw this into your heart so that all the actions you take will be based on love. And then pull this down to the lower dantian in reverse prayer so that you can remember you are a being of love. Back up to the heart, and with all this love to give, we send it out to the entire universe. And we open up our arms to receive all the love that is sure to return to us. Allow your hands to release by your sides. Come back into our form called bamboo in the wind. Raise your left hand up, palm open, yin, the moon, the unconscious nighttime, receiving. Raise your right hand up, making a fist, yang, giving the sun, brightness, warmth, and action. Draw these two together, forever intertwined. You will never find one without the other. Bow in reverence to yourself, all others, and I thank you so much for taking the time to do this practice and share Qi with me.